will be happy to say, I had to write it down so I wouldn't forget. Don't allow the new year to resolute you into failure. Because we talk about this all the time. We're going to start. Oh my gosh, my kid's sick. Oh, it's cold outside. I did XYZ. So I wrote down some tips for us to do that we could do in the house and make it actually actionable when we're doing these things. But we have to stop allowing, like I said, for myself, we have to stop allowing the things, the small things to say, hey, I can't do it because I don't do it as great with this side. I don't do it as great with that. Or today may be a day, an off day. So instead of just allowing that off day to say, I'm not going to do anything. No, I'm going to write out a plan and set this goal. It's not going to be for everybody. And that's what everybody got to get out their head. Don't post to everybody and say, this is my New Year's resolution. Have that written in for yourself. Have that in front of you at something you do every morning. Everybody opens the refrigerator every day. So we should have this in front of our face to say, this is my list. This is what I'm starting. These are my goals for myself to make myself better. And it's simple things we could do. And I'm going to just start with that. First one being wake up an hour and a half to 2 hours before your normal day starts. And I know that sounds crazy, especially for me that usually gets up. My first client is 5 a.m. Guess what? I got to get up at 3 a.m. And what that's going to do is going to get your mind set to actually start the day. Because so many times we get throughout the day and say we ain't have enough time. Like our resolution, we may say, hey, I want to change. I want to start working out. I want to eat ahead of time. I would do all these things. Then you get to the point to say, hey, I didn't have enough time. I didn't have enough time to prep my meal. So I went out to eat. So all those things. So giving yourself 90 minutes to 2 hours ahead of time is going to take you out of that. I didn't have enough time. And the reality is while you're doing that, take the rest of that time that you woke up early and plan out your day to say, hey, these are the things that I have to make happen today. Again, for myself. Once you do that, now we can look at the next step being 2 hours before bedtime. Let's change our whole mentality there. And this will help us mentally and physically. We need to stop all screen time at least 2 hours before we go to bed. And when I say, that's going to be hard, Sam, because how long you on the phone before you go to bed? You might be in bed still scrolling through the phone.
Right, still hold it.
But look at this right here. So let's talk about this, Sam. How you said, you're going to call yourself out, how the things you do. So let's look at this. Okay, you about to go to bed. You may say to yourself, I'm going to go to bed at 11 o'clock at night. And then you're scrolling on the screen for another hour. In reality, that's an hour you could have took that time to work out. That's an hour you could have meal prepped your meals. Things like that we don't think about. But you say, hey, I had to go to bed. I'm sitting in bed. But you're sitting in bed procrastinating, wasted time. So now your mind is still going and your brain, everything is still wired. You never really relax to actually go to sleep. So that 90 minutes to an hour and a half you in bed trying to fight to go to sleep because you've been scrolling, that's another time you could have done something before. So if you stop that 2 hours before time, things you could do if you stop the screen time 2 hours before time. One could be reading 15 to 20 pages in a book, things that we say we want to start back doing, but we have not done. So right there, that's going to increase our knowledge. That's going to give us that dopamine to release to say, hey, I'm feeling good because I've actually brought some new knowledge into my mind. Therefore, putting that new knowledge in your mind starts your brain for the next morning to say, hey, I'm going to get up excited in the morning. I'm going to exercise. I'm a meal prep. All these things that we play with ourselves because we say time does not allow. And then think about something else, Sam. How many throughout the day do you give yourself any time to relax or rest, like to just be in total silence?
Yeah, so I just started that maybe last year. I was just I just need 15 minutes. And I turn the phone off before I got to take Jeremiah to practice or something. Let me just get some quiet.
So how do you feel when you get that quiet time? Like, what does it do to your mind? Like, does it refresh your mind?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Relaxes. You know what I'm saying? You got to turn it off. It's hard.
Oh, it's very hard.
But I have to turn it off at times.
So that right there is going to help you. So even in that time when you're disassociating from all noise, silence, or any digital screen time, right there, that's your time of silence. We want you to allow your mind to reset. So think about right after the reset, your mind should be fresh and all the other cloudiness should be out of your head. That's the time you can say, hey, before I go and do anything else, even if it say this is my next 20 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and commit to some type of exercise. So things like that we really say we don't have enough time because we have to set these big goals of time. No, let's forget about those big goals of time and say, hey, I only got 15 minutes right now to do this. We could take 4 to 5 different times throughout the day with 15 minutes, and which at the end of the day will equal out to an hour of workout. So all these little things we don't think about. Say, 15 minutes isn't enough. I need an hour. But guess what? Who always has an hour to work out? We all have 4 slots of 15-minute increments throughout our day that we may not be doing something, or we're scrolling through the screen time, that we can put that down and do something to build our heart rate up. Just simple things like that. It's the mindset. We got to get out of that mindset to say, hey, my New Year's resolution, hey, I failed these first couple of days. Now I'm going to start over next year. No, if you failed today, start back over tomorrow. So we really got to start with that mindset.